lasting violence has put Hong Kong in a severe economic downturn. According to data released by the Hong Kong Tourism Board, from January to November in 2019, the total number of visitors was around 52.72 million, dropping by 10% compared with the same period in 2018. From July to November, the number of visitors reduced by 36% compared with the same period in 2018. According to data released by the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, HKSAR, in last December, the region's overall unemployment rate rose to 3.2%. The total unemployment rate of retail, hospitality, and catering industries rose to 5.2%. The unemployment rate of the catering industry rose to 6.2%, the highest in 8 years. On October 29, 2019, Carrie Lam, the chief executive of the HKSAR, said that Hong Kong would go through a very difficult economic situation, with persistent recession a possibility.
無論我哋做幾多呢啲撐企業、保就業嘅工作，都係治標嘅工作啊！治本嘅工作一定係盡快壓止暴力，讓香港回復平靜。
In the violence that lasted for months, Hong Kong opposition figures and foreign forces worked in collusion. In June 2019, anti-extradition law amendment bill marches took place in Hong Kong. At the beginning of July 2019, Jimmy Lai Chi-ying came to the U.S. and met with U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and some Republican senators. On August 3, 2019, the radical protesters staged protests in Mongkok. When the protesters were creating chaos and violence on the streets, the opposition figures, Jimmy Lai Chi-ying and Martin Lee Chu-ming, met with Christian Whitten, a national security expert from the U.S. On August 6, 2019, Anson Chan-fung Onsung, Joshua Wong Chi-fung, and Nathan Law Kwong-chung were found to have met with Julie Ieda, a diplomat from the U.S. Consulate General in Hong Kong. After those encounters with American politicians, the violence began to escalate in Hong Kong.
回歸前，香港同埋美國都唔會重視香港嘅反對派。回歸之後，香港嘅反對派喺英美登堂入室，只有一個原因，就係香港嘅反對派已經變成英美對華較勁嘅棋子。
我們絕對不能把我們淪為外部勢力的一種棋子，來推翻我們的政府，來顛覆我們的政權。所以我們必須要維持我們的法律，我們必須要把這些暴徒繩之於法。基本法未來的實施情況就是這個最重要，我們所關注的就是國家安全問題。
A draft decision on establishing and improving the legal system and enforcement mechanisms for the HKSAR to safeguard national security was submitted to China's national legislature for deliberation on May 22nd. Since the return of Hong Kong to China in 1997, the region has been adhering to the Hong Kong Basic Law.
中央對香港全面管制權是在基本法裡面完全體現的，這個對香港也是很重要。這個幫香港保持它的繁榮穩定，基本法能夠實施正確，不走樣、不變形，這個中央管制權是最重要的。
Deng Xiaoping, chairman of the Central Military Commission at the time, said during a meeting with the Basic Law Drafting Committee in 1987 that there would be incidents injurious to national and Hong Kong's interest, and admonished that it was wrong to think that letting Hong Kong people govern themselves and totally leaving the central government out of the picture was a license to do whatever you wanted. That's just an ill-advised illusion. Keeping the central government's authority over certain aspects will only bring prosperity to Hong Kong.
香港回歸到現在23年了。一直由於反對派用種種阻撓的辦法，包括拉布等等，使得有一些類似的法律呢在香港都不能通過。然後過去23年一直不能立法，看樣子呢短期內也不能完成這個立法的工作。所以在這種情況底下，人大要堵塞這個漏洞。這個完全是合理、合情、合法的。同時呢，人大呢，也絕對有這方面的權利。
All countries are firmly against separatism. Each country enacts laws based on their own national conditions to provide the legal basis for protecting their unity and cracking down on separatist activities. The U.S. was the first country in the world to introduce an anti-succession law. The law that came into effect in 1831 stated that when the federal and state laws came into conflict, the federal law took precedence over the state law, with the federal government authorized to ensure the implementation of the federal law by means of force, and separatists shall be guilty of treason. Before the Civil War, law-like documents like the Anti-Secession Resolution of the New York legislature was issued in the U.S. To adapt to changing times, the protection of national unity against separatism was further enshrined in the U.S. Constitution. In response to the calls for the independence of Corsica, the Conseil constitutionnel of France deleted terms regarding the island's autonomy in related laws to assert that Corsica is part of France. When a referendum over Quebec independence was underway, the federal government of Canada lost no time in asking for the country's Supreme Court to make the final decision on the issue, which ruled that Quebec cannot unilaterally separate from Canada based on either international or domestic laws. The Canadian Parliament legislated afterwards to restrict referendums. The Clarity Act stipulates that any referendum held by Quebec over the issue of its independence will not be valid unless it's recognized by the federal government.
世界上哪有一个国家可以容忍分裂国家的行为？世界上哪有一个国家可以容忍恐怖活动？这是不可想象的。从国家层面进行香港国安立法，针对的是搞港独、黑暴等极少数人，归根到底维护的是绝大多数香港同胞、香港市民的生命财产安全、基本权利、自由和切身利益，目的就是这个目的。